start recording now. Alright, so this is a tier list that I'm just gonna do based on shonen MC power levels, I guess. Based on how strong they are comparative to other shonen anime characters. So here I highlight a couple of anime, a couple of characters from each. You got your Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Punch, One Piece, Hunter x Hunter, My Hero, and a bunch of others, Black Clover, Joe, what have you. Okay. So actually, here I'm just going to. This is my second recording. Last time I messed up because I forgot to hit record, or I forgot to turn my mic on. So it just didn't capture. It captured all the video, but didn't capture any of the sound. So I'm gonna start off with Naruto and Sasuke here. Pretty easy. I think they would both be at the top of A list. I'm actually going to use these guys as a marker to see if you can beat Naruto and Sasuke in a fight, then deserve to be an S tier. Because if you've ever watched Naruto, at the end of the show, they're pretty much like almost god tier level skill, right? They're just super OP, mountain destroying feats, freaking almost infinite chakra from Naruto, and combat ability is just really high up there, right? So I'm going to put Naruto ahead of Sasuke. Because I personally think Naruto is better or stronger than Sasuke. Because, at the last fight he wasn't trying to kill him or anything, but Sasuke definitely does deserve to be given his role with Susanoo, Amaterasu, Enton Kagasuchi, and everything that he has. Kirin, combat prowess, intelligence, kind of the whole shebang. So I'm going to start off here. Just going, it's not really going to be disputed at all. Goku, obviously S tier, right? So Genos is very strong. He's actually kind of like loaded up. His kit's kind of really stacked up. If you really, he has super speed and crazy destructive ability, but I don't think he can beat Naruto and Sasuke. So I'm going to put him at the top of B. Saitama, yes tier, right? I honestly put these two here just for the jokes. That's why I kind of put his. And for the memes again, I'm just gonna put Saitama in front of. I'm not gonna get into it, but I'm gonna put him in front just because it's funny. Luffy. So, thing about this might get a little bit of a hate from the One Piece community. I like One Piece. I've been reading One Piece probably for the last 4 or 5 years now. Every single week with Jump, right? But the thing is, One Piece, their abilities are very, like the way that they can get stronger is very, very straightforward. It's like very linear, right? Whereas in Naruto, it's pretty exponential. You get one thing like Sasuke gets his Mangekyo Sharingan, for example, and this guy's like 10 times stronger than he was before. But like with One Piece, Luffy specifically just doesn't have that. He got his Devil Fruit power, his Gomu Gomu, right? He did get a lot stronger since then, with Haki and everything, but he just doesn't have the same power escalation as somebody like Naruto or Sasuke, for example. So I'm gonna put him behind Genos, honestly, because I feel like him and Genos are gonna be very. Like, if they were to fight, Luffy might come up on top or Genos might come up on top. Because Genos himself does have some mountain destroying feats as well. Like when he was sparring with Saitama, he was going all out. But Luffy, definitely very strong. Up a B tier. Now, Hunter x Hunter. Again, it's difference in power escalation, right? The power distribution, how people get stronger, it's just very different. The power system with chakra is really, really interesting because it doesn't really limit the person that much. Whereas then kind of pigeonholes you into whatever you need to, like whatever you can do. Right? So for example, Gon is an enhancer. So realistically, all he can do is just enhance his body. He has his Jujunken, right? His rock, paper, scissors, punch, scissors, or his punch, slice, and blast. But he's realistically, at this point in the manga or at this point in the show, he's just not that strong. So I put C as the C tier as like you're beyond human capability, right? So I would feel comfortable putting him at the bottom of C tier here. Now, on the same note, Killua, right? So Killua, I think, is at the bottom of B tier. I think that his kit with Godspeed Whirlwind is just a lot more versatile, a lot better than compared to Gon's kit Jajangken. Right? So I would be very comfortable putting him at the bottom of B tier. I think he's stronger than Gon, honestly. Like it's kind of not that difficult. Now we're on my boy Hisoka. Did you know that bungee gum has both the properties of rubber and gum? Crazy, I know. Would have thought. Now, Hisoka is B tier. He's beyond human capability. Obviously, when he was fighting Goto, his bungee gum's just very, very versatile. Right? He's able to fly around. He's able to contract and expand his nen, and he's just really good at killing people. Really good at fighting. A lot of fighting prowess. Very, very smart. So, I think bottom of or mid B tier would be good for him. I think he can still be Killua. Like I don't think that it's very. I think he would be able to find a way to be Killua. Now, I don't think he could be Luffy though, because Luffy's just kind of ridiculous in his own way. He is the MC, right? So anyway, let's move on. So Isaac Netero. So this is a really good example of, you can see that Hunter x Hunter here, because of the power, the way that Nen is, it's like it can kind of limit you or escalate you depending on what your power is. Now Netero is a really good example of it. Right? So Netero has his 100 type Blood Vista, where he's able to kind of have 100 or honestly like a kind of almost infinite different move. What he's able to do. He's able to move past the speed of sound, able to react to the likes of Miruum. He has fighting experience, fighting power. He pretty much has it all, right? That's why he's one of the strongest characters, if not the strongest character in Hunter x Hunter, because besides Miruum, but he's the chairman of the Hunter Association so I think he can beat Naruto and Sasuke, like pretty decisively, honestly. Because if you really want to think about it and compare apples to apples, you can think of Hashirama's wood statue, his Buena Vista wood statue, and just kind of put that in the place of Netero, because they are very, very similar. But Netero is able to really control, react, summon, and he has a zero hand as well. So Netero, definitely S tier. Now, Deku at this point in time, I think he has very similar feats to somebody like Gon, right? They both have physical enhancement abilities. Spoilers here, but Deku does, obviously, he has the one for all, so he has different abilities as well. Just hasn't been fully unlocked to the full capacity yet, and his power can't handle all of All Might's strength. So I think I would be comfortable putting him at the top of C or the bottom of B. I'll put him beyond Gon for now, like above Gon. But it's just because at this point in time, I don't think he's all that strong. Now, All Might, however, is all that strong. Ridiculous. He's like, if you want to think about it with brute strength and everything, he's very comparable to Saitama. He has able to create air pressure with just his punches, so he's pretty like crazy ridiculous. For speed, Mach speed, #1 hero, plus Ultra. Now, moving on, we have Tsuna from Hitman Reborn. So Reborn is a very interesting show, but it's just like I said with just comparison in anime powers and scaling levels, he's not all that strong. I'll put him at the bottom of. He does like still human, right? But he's able to fly. I'll put him there. There. I would be happy putting him there. He's able to fly. He has crazy incineration power like Genos does. Is the Von of Flame, because he is the Dechimo. But honestly, all in all, his feats haven't been that great. He's only ever really fought up against other humans. I guess they also have powers, but honestly, it's not comparable to the likes of somebody like Genos or Luffy, or even Killua, right, with the Chimera Ant arc and everything. Hang on. So we have Yuno's really strong. He's really fucking strong. He has the spirit power, and at this point, like in the manga, he's really freaking strong. He's able to go to spirit form. He has the mana control. Very, very like prodigious talent with his mana, right? So very, very. I'll be happy putting him bottom of B tier. Honestly, maybe even above Kilo. These two are kind of a toss-up. Now Asta. Unfortunately, Asta isn't that strong. He just really isn't. He's able to go into his demon transformation, partial, of course. But he doesn't have any feats that are beyond human ability, right? If you really think about it, his kit's very, very similar to that of Deku or Gon, right? But young Midoriya at least has like beyond human strength, and whereas Asta really doesn't. If you look at his feats, he doesn't really try to kill anybody, but that's not a bad thing. It's just that he doesn't really have the ability to kill anybody, really, besides like kind of slicing them in half. And if you really think about it, he's kind of only useful against other magicians or other wizards, sorry. But if you compare against other animes, there are no other magic users. So he's kind of just stuck in D tier. He's strong, he's jacked, but doesn't have all that prowess. Doesn't have all the skill. Now, Yami. My boy Yami Sukihiro. I think he's either above or below Hisoka. I'll put him below Hisoka. Maybe I'm liking Hisoka too much, but I love Hisoka. Great. Yami, very, very strong. Dark magic, right? Able to create a black hole. Suck up any abilities. Able to read. Because a key. Able to slash through dimensions. Right, so his feats kind of explain themselves. He's very, very strong. Now moving on to Wizard Emperor, Magic Emperor himself, Julius Nova Chrono. So Julius Nova Chrono is a very interesting take because he has very similar powers to somebody I'm going to go through later, or at least partially related to stopping time, right? So I think he's S tier. I really do. I think he's S. So I'm gonna put him actually at the bottom of S tier because I don't think he would be able to hold his own against somebody like Netero or All Might. But he's able to stop time, able to move with super speed, accelerate his own time, slow down attacks. Like this guy's pretty crazy. His kit's just really OP. Now, Jotaro. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3, Stardust Crusaders. The Stando, Star Platinum. I'll put him there. Put him right there. Uh, it's hard. It's hard to say. So somewhere in A tier, he has Star Platinum, and it's shown through his fight with Dio that Star Platinum can kind of do what All Might does, where he uses air pressure to kind of swing himself around and have Jotaro fly attached to him. He's able to stop time for up to 4 seconds, which is pretty ridiculous in its own right. Able to break diamonds with his fists, unleash a barrage of aura hits. You know what I'm talking about. But is he stronger than Naruto and Sasuke? I think he's stronger than Sasuke. Because if he's able to break through Diamond, he'll be able to break through Susanoo. Is he stronger than Naruto? If you really think about it, if he uses his kit properly, I think he can beat Naruto. He's able to stop time, man. Like, that's stupid. Now, Dio. Dio is... So I'm gonna put Dio above Jotaro. I'm actually gonna put him in the bottom of S tier. Now, Jotaro won the fight, yes. But I think Dio has more potential. And let me explain why. So if you... I love JoJo. I've read part 6, part 7, part 8, JoJolion as well. And part 6, Stone Ocean, it shows that Jotaro, after like, I think, however many years, I don't remember how many, probably like 20, 30 years. Older now, does Star Platinum, but his power hasn't really increased. In fact, it decreased over, right? So he hasn't, his time stop hasn't gotten any longer. And even in part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable, it shows that he lost some of the power and then he had to get it back, and how long he was able to stop time for, right? Whereas Dio, he has an undying body, right? He's a vampire. He has an undying body, and it's shown through part 3 that he first started at a fraction of a second when he was able to stop time. A fraction of a moment, then a second, and then 2, and then 4, right? And then at the end of the show, at the end of Stardust Crusaders, he said he'll eventually be able to stop time indefinitely, or something along the likes of that. Able to stop time for hours, days, whatever. He has the ambition for it, and he's able to kind of reach that, able to strive for it. So I think Dio actually has more potential than Jotaro does in terms of overall strength. Obviously their stands are the exact same in terms of power, ability, and everything else. But I think Dio as a person, just because he's striving to bend the world on its knee, able to power than Jotaro would. Josuke. So Josuke is somewhere in B tier. He doesn't have that many feet in Diamond is Unbreakable. You've shown him a couple of times where he does seriously fight. He does have a very strong stand. He does. He's able to regenerate, or he's able to heal and reconfigure, probably the better word, parts that he punches. Restructure. But I don't think he's that strong. Honestly, I think he's beyond human. I think I'm gonna put him here, because he's definitely very strong. Would he be able to beat Deku? Maybe not even. Would he be able to beat Gon? Yeah, I think he's bottom of C. Okay. I'm happy putting him here. Now, Kira. Kira is a fucking psychopath. We all know this. And he's very strong. His stand Killer Queen has the first and second bombs. I'm not going to count Bites the Dust, but even with the first and second bombs, he's very, very strong. He's need to touch somebody and detonate. And I think he's at the top. Diamond is Unbreakable is the part where it was the most, I think, where it wasn't over the top in terms of people's powers. Like with Dio able to stop time, being unkillable, used to be destroyed by sunlight or Hamon. right? Where part 4 was more like, oh, you're in a small town, these are real people. It was more relatable that way. I really like it, but because of that, I think that Hirohiko Araki really didn't try to make their powers over the top. Like it suited their character's nature rather than being stupidly strong on one way or the other. Now, speaking of stupidly strong in one way or the other, here we have Giorno Giovanna. He's just so freaking strong, man. Old Experience Requiem is able to negate anything that happens and revert it back to 0, the starting point. If he hits you, we're stuck in essentially like an infinite loop, almost like Tusk Act 4. And like you saw what happened with Diavolo, I'm assuming, if you've ever watched JoJo, where he just kind of got stuck in a time loop, or not a time loop, but like a loop in his mind, and he never got out, and he just died. Vegetable. It's crazy. He's able to revert everything back to 0. So I think his power is honestly pretty ridiculous, and he would be here. Like somewhere in the S tier. Diavolo, I think, is here. So Diavolo, King Crimson, he has the ability to see 10 seconds into the future with Epitaph, which is his second stand, and he's able to cut out 10 seconds the future, or into the present, I guess, of anything disadvantageous to him. So he's able to stop anything bad from happening to him, and he's able to kind of get himself into the most optimal position. That said, I don't think he's able to. Him and Dio are kind of hand in hand, right? Whoever hits first will probably win, but the thing is, Dio's immortal, technically. Vampire. I think he'll be able to beat Jotaro. I think he'll have a okay fight against Naruto and Sasuke, because he would cut time out. But I don't think he's able to beat any of these top characters, right? So Netero and All Might, they would both have the fighting experience to kind of, act in an awkward situation where they would be able to kind of figure things out and still defend themselves, even with King Crimson's attack. So, same thing with Julius Nova Chrono, right? This guy can kind of manipulate time in such a way where he's able to find the most advantageous. Let's move on. So, Edward Elric. So, Fullmetal Alchemist is interesting in the fact that they're all humans still, right? None of them really exceed human abilities, and that kind of puts them in the lower tier. Realistically, they really can't do anything against people that are with strength above human, like beyond human capabilities, right? So I think Edward is at the bottom of E tier, honestly. He doesn't have all that much that he really can do, and it's even shown throughout the show that he doesn't really have much that he can deal with in terms of people like Yosuke or Gon or even Suna, right? Where they would be able to kind of just blitz him and he can't really do anything about it. Roy Mustang, however, is able to create fire with snaps or a lighter or something. I think he would be comparable with Suna. Guy able to fly. I don't think he's beyond human. I'll put him at the top of D. It's just the power escalation levels, right? So it's... There we go. So I don't think he's that much stronger than Edward, but he has more abilities, right? He has more useful abilities. That said, here we do have King Bradley, who has beyond human abilities. Beyond human reaction time, reflexes, just overall, he's kind of OP, man. Like he blitzed Greed, and Greed has like impenetrable armor, and he destroyed him. Like it wasn't even close. So I think in terms of fighting power, he's beyond human for sure. And he has the fighting experience to kind of wipe the floor with probably all of these guys, honestly. I'm almost tempted to I'll put him in the bottom of here, honestly, man. He's strong, he's really strong. Now, speaking of really strong, these last couple of characters are kind of just ridiculous. And I didn't really want to put anybody from 7 Deadly Sins into the list because they're all like god tier level, but I figured I would put them in anyway. So I'll start with Ban. He's the weakest out of these. So Ban in himself, he's an immortal, right? So he can try, it's like a cheat code, you know? When you mess things up, you can just kind of regenerate and try again. So because of that, because of his OP cheat code, he's easily here. But I will put him right here because I don't think he can beat any of these guys. He's able to steal strength, right? He's able to use it on his own for strength, take strength away from somebody else. But none of that would matter against Goku, Saitama, or Giorno. And because Saitama and Goku can probably literally blast him out of existence, like wipe his entire existence away, and he wouldn't be able to regenerate from that. Giorno would be able to put him into an infinite, like he did with Diavolo, and he wouldn't be able to do anything. I guess the only matchup he might be okay with, or he might have difficulty with for anybody below him, would be probably Julian, because he would be able to freeze him into a time bubble and stop him from doing anything. But even then, he's undying and he's immortal. So eventually, like if you really draw it out to the ends of the points of infinity, he's going to win. Ban would win every single time. Now, anyway, let's move on. Meliodas. Here, right ahead of Ban. So Meliodas, he's shown to be able to hurt Ban, right? Through his Demon Flame. But then again, like that was before Ban went to Purgatory and before he got extremely resistant to that kind of thing. But overall, Meliodas is still stronger than Ban. There's just no questions. Demon Prince, Demon Flame, almost unlimited power. He's just really, really strong. Like there's just nothing to it. Escanor. I put him right here. He has the power of the sun, man. He has the power of the sun. So Escanor honestly is a very weird example for this list. And this is why. So Escanor himself, he's able to become the strongest being for 1 minute at noon with the 1. But anything below that, I don't know if he's actually that strong. So he can either be at the top of A, yeah, or at the top of S, somewhere in the top of S. But it really depends. So I think at noon, when he's the 1, he's probably as strong as Goku or Saitama. But anything below that, I think he's actually just an an A tier. Because at the end of the day, he still is human, right? Like Dio and Diavolo have shown that they love ripping people's hearts out. And I don't think he would be able to beat All Might or Netero. Because they just have such OP kits. And I'm not saying that Escanor isn't OP because he is. But I don't think that he would be able to beat guys. So yeah, he's somewhere between here. Somewhere between. But I'll put him here because most of the time he's an A. At least during when the sun's up. Now, if you don't know who these two guys are, They're from Yu Yu Hakusho, Ghost Detective, Spirit Detective, and it's a really old anime, but it's one of the OG shonens, right? So it's by the same author as Hunter x Hunter, and these guys are some of the stronger guys. So they're some of the main characters. So you can think of him as Hilo. This is Gon, right? So Hiei is probably at the mid to top A tier. I'll put him here. So Hiei has super speed. Very, very good with a sword. He has the Jigan, which gives him clairvoyance powers. Honestly, his kit's very, very similar to that of Sasuke. So he has what's called the Dragon of the Black Flame, which is essentially, if you really want to think about it, very, very similar to that of the Amaterasu, where he's able to fire out kind of a line projectile nuke, almost, where it sets everything in the path ablaze, and it doesn't stop until completely destroyed. Same thing with Amaterasu, very, very similar, right? He has the Jigan, which gives him clairvoyance powers, and better perception, which is very similar. I guess you can kind of compare that to the Sharingan, right? And he's able to use a sword. He has super speed, super strength, an S tier demon. So you can kind of compare that to very, very similar to Sasuke's kid. Like, it's kind of paralleled, right? Like I would even say that Sasuke being able to do the flame control of the Entakatsuchi might be able to control the Dragon of the Black Flame, but that's just for the meme. Anyway, let's move on. So Yusuke is somewhere here. When he's in demon form, he's like the strongest being, pretty much, almost. Top 5, definitely. Top 5 strongest beings in demon realm. Unlimited spirit power, pretty much. Supersonic speed, super strength, and just like crazy fighting ability. So in terms of, you can kind of compare him to that of Meliodas. So I'm just putting him between here. Now, the only reason why I put these two on from Yu Yu Hakusho is because of Ichigo. So Ichigo's kit is weird. It's freaking weird, man. Ichigo is a Shinigami, meaning he's a ghost. Meaning he can't be seen by other people unless they're ghosts. Plus he has an OP kit with Zangetsu. Plus he's a Quincy, plus he's a Hollow, plus he's human full bring. He has everything. He has literally everything the universe has to offer in Bleed. The most OP character besides the Quincy King, right? And he's a ghost, so he can't see, or other people can't see him, but he can interact with them. So because of that, he's the top of S tier. And the author of Dragon Ball Z, name I forgot, he has even said that Ichigo would be able to beat Goku because he's a ghost. So it's literally just his kid. Like, how do you beat him? You can't see him. But that's where he belongs. Top of S tier. OP. Now Gon, adult Gon. No, not there, not. Adult Gon, as said by Neferpitou, the King's Guard, that he is as strong as the king when he's in this form. Granted, he was willing to sacrifice every single thing to be in this form, but he is comparable to that of All Might in terms of power in this form. So, super strength, super speed, extremely powerful Jujanken, almost unlimited Nen, seems like, and probably one of the strongest characters, if not the strongest character in the show up until this point, or even in the manga. So I think he's actually stronger than Netero at this stage. But, obviously he does have a massive drawback in the fact that he becomes extreme, like his main body after this form becomes extremely crippled, you know, almost near death state, which is why I separated Gon and Adult Gon. But yeah, so here's the list. What I'm happy in saying, this is what I'm comfortable in saying. If there are any, if you feel differently, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. But so far, this is what I kind of figured out. Now, I understand that the tier, like the curve here is probably pretty bad. There's a lot of S tiers, but it's a shonen anime, man. Like, people are strong. There's a reason why I picked up so many of these characters, because they're strong. Nobody wants to pick on a weak character. I didn't even want to put Edward over here, man. But it is what it is. So let me know if there's anything that you would change. This is going on YouTube, so like and comment and subscribe. Comments to let me know what other things you guys want to see. I do have a couple of ideas, but you know, I can always have more. So let me know what you think, and thanks for watching.